Marshall skips away. Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Whips that one away, and Kane Williamson and his team now World Test champions.
Welcome back to another episode of the TGIF podcast. Thank God it's footy. Sitting here, two Grinners, two winners.
Mate, yeah, great minds think alike. That's what I was teeing up there. Winners are Grinners, mate. Yep, we both came away with the dubs there on the weekend. One game slightly more enjoyable to watch than the other. I'd say so myself.
Yeah, one definitely a good old-fashioned poo slinger, as they may call it.
Unfortunate, but a very error-ridden game. Dragons up against Manly, but I said it last week. We saved the best to last. First Monday night footy action of the year.
Easter Monday.
What a game we had on our hands there. Tigers up against the Eels. We will get into that a little bit later on, but it was a spectacle. Monday night footy.
Capped off a beautiful Easter weekend.
Great long weekend, and even better for me having the Tuesday off as well. It felt like a Saturday night. I could have gone out and gone to the piss, really. I should have, after sitting through a game like that.
Easter Monday, I don't know if there will be too many punters out on the piss, but
possibly not. Although
you might have found a few like-minded Tigers fans in and amongst
the
it.
old Tigers 1-12 into Bulla did come through thanks to that win. So was it $16.70? I think I pocketed. So I could have gone out there and
a couple of beers off that.
Or a six-pack possibly or something like that.
I was going to say a beer at the pub.
Yeah, beer at the pub, maybe 2 beers down at the golf club, with your members' discount, something like that. But yeah, good week to be a Tigers fan, good week to be a Dragons fan. And a big week upon us as well. But we'll have a look at last week. We'll have a look at some
apologies for the barking dog in the background.
Yeah. Shout out to Ace, absolutely going off. I think he's just happy to have his favourite uncle over. I believe maybe he's a little bit excited. Teething, like babies go when they're teething.
We've just noticed another gap in his front.
He's lost another one. There you go. So he's in pain.
He's struggling through, but
did also watch his first Tigers game there on the weekend. You told me so.
Watched his first Tigers game.
I did. So
I might have actually watched a couple more with me.
I gave him a bit of a growl with the Tigers before, and we're slowly leading him towards a fruitful career as a Tigers fan, with Dragons sort of as the old second team. So no dramas with that at all. We'll have a look at that team of the week then, shall we? Another really tasty batch of footy players here. Some really quality players making their way into the team of the week this week. We start off back in his usual position, back in his number 1 jersey, and also your customary double barrel RTS.
Yeah, he's taken that number 1 jersey back in a couple of Warriors players' absences, and hell of a performance there. I saw an argument, if he played there the whole year, do you reckon he'd be a good shout for Dally M?
Again, it all depends on how.
It's obviously
depends on how the Warriors play.
Quite loose to be making calls after seeing one game.
I think the 2 players that we
like Nathan Cleary.
It's also you've got AFB and Sean Johnson, who's going to try and get the points off. I think as well. A lot of that play obviously is going to go through SJ, but I believe he got the was it 6 points? I think it was.
I think so.
But yeah, looked like he was back to himself. That was sort of what
back to his best when he can get that many touches of the ball rather than sort of being stuck out there on an edge. But I guess we'll see what the Warriors do. CNK might be back this week.
This week or next. I know they were talking about that there on the weekend, but I think it's hard not to give it back to him. I think Chance deserves a shot there. It was his position there originally. So
yeah, and you think how well he ended last year, played there last year, capped it off with the old man of the match in that 30-0 drubbing against the Aussies. So it is a tough one to give it back to Roger after one good game, but hell of a game it was. But joining him in that back three, I suppose, hat-trick hero Taruva.
Yep.
Sonny
Done
Taruva
over for 3 tries there for the Panthers. I think he's now scored 8 tries in 4 games or 5 games, 4 games
this season.
Yep. So and some awesome form, Taruva, and possibly right place at the right time for a few tries, often as it is as a winger. But get yourself a hattie, always good. And join there on the other wing, Kamena Sarko making his way into the team this week. Another one had an awesome game there on the weekend.
Yeah, good game for Jermaine up against the Titans there. And then a centres pairing of Jackie Whiten, who I thought really had a great game for Souths.
Yep. I thought they were going to be one more week off.
Bunnies, couple of tries.
But maybe they were up for it. Easter weekend, Easter Bunnies. A couple of tries for Jackie Whiten.
Couple of tries for his centre partner as well, Justin Olam.
Couple of tries there for Justin Olam as well. Sort of being that, obviously, not the one out there running the show, but sort of being that instigator of us playing with a bit of intent.
Bit of oomph.
A little bit of oomph. We saw him at one stage. He flew in for a tackle, missed it, completely missed it. But God, if he'd hit that, that would have been unreal. But yeah, a little bit of oomph. I like that. That's your back 5, and then joined there in the halves pairing. Now, is it debut or did we got him in there last week?
I think it's 2 weeks.
I think it's 2 in a row for the 18-year-old. Lockie Galvin taking the 6 jersey there. Very hard done by Tommy Dearden. Now probably deserves to be in the team for that tackle alone.
Yeah.
But
crazy tackle.
Hard not to go past the 18-year-old in this one. Had a stormer of a game. Set up Jareen for that try there, and looks like he's playing with sort of, I don't want to say 300 games experience, but we can maybe say 30, 40 games experience, not 2.
Yeah, definitely looks like a bloke who's got a bit more under his belt than just a couple of games to go from being sin-binned to coming on and pretty much setting up the winning try.
Looked like he was going to cry when he went off, and to come on, set up the winning try. Steered the lads around the park.
Shows he's got a bit of cojones about him, I reckon.
Bit of oomph.
Yeah, but maybe not as much as Justin Olam.
Jazzy Olam said he's out there protecting him. He's out, he says he's got a young half. He's got to look after him while he's out there. So might have been getting
Bluetoothing a bit of oomph over the Lockie.
Getting a bit of oomph over there from old Jazzy Olam, and joined there in the halves with him is
a bloke who does have
complete opposite end of the age spectrum.
Yeah.
Adam Reynolds. Bossing it there for Brisbane.
His kicking game was just immense the other night. Was it Friday night?
Friday night, yep.
In the rain. The Cowboys just couldn't hack him. At his best, I reckon, ever since he's moved to Brisbane, he's been playing the best footy I've ever seen of him. It's just whether that body can hold up for the full season, but hell of a performance for Reynolds to round out your backs there for the week. As we move into the forwards, Mitchie Barnett, I believe a repeat offender, a couple of weeks in a row now.
I believe that's also another repeat offence there. Mitch Barnett, always strong, always putting in a shift, and had another really good game there on the weekend. And joined there, this must be a debut for the season, I believe.
Terrell May,
Terrell May. I think he was also my highest fantasy point scorer in a very poor week for me. So shout out Terrell. I also, pretty poor for me, and I possibly didn't know this and had forgotten. I only recently found out that he is Taylor May's brother.
Really?
Yeah, and that's what Jaden said. I probably did know and I just forgot, but it must have been.
And Tyrone May's their brother as well.
Tyrone May. I thought he was like a relative of some
sort. They're all
sort.
3 brothers. Yeah, did you not know that?
Maybe I did.
Surely you did.
Maybe I didn't. I've forgotten.
Bit of a mind blank.
End of the night brain. But also, the other day I'm sitting there when Roosters played Penrith, and you saw them. I think Taylor May actually tackled Terrell and he ended up losing the ball.
Terrell was at the Tigers on a training trial a couple of years ago under Madge.
maybe that might have been when but obviously
But,
never succumbed to anything there. But shout out my. A little bit new. You can always learning. You're always learning, even if there's things that you think you know a lot of. You're always learning. But shout out to Raul and Slim there in between them. Another one of my mates up in Coruscant. There's another repeat offender.
Yeah, probably not as good as he was the week before, but definitely another great performance from the Tigers number 9, showing what a great signing. Really.
I think it was a lot of that's just for that 10-minute period when Galvin was off and Uppy just led the boys out there, and we put in there was one stage there where I think we made 57 tackles. They were tackled 57 times in our 20 in a period of time where I think
they had like 4 or
7.
5 sets on the bounce, set restarts,
unreal
penalties and all that. It was great stuff. Appy front and centre of that. Into our back row, Jaden Sewer. Pretty good game there for the Dragons, and what was I guess as we said before, a bit of a post singer, but had to get him in there. Good performance from Jaden, and Kurt Capel, just another solid performance for the Warriors. I think he made nearly 50 tackles.
He's been an awesome signing. I think a lot of people probably would have been quite gutted to see Josh Curran leave. Definitely an upgrade.
No disrespect to Josh Curran. He did show his moments in the Warriors jersey as well, but
hearty player, but
to have
probably one of the best second rowers in the game, I'd say.
Yeah, and experienced as well, and to come off the back of a Brisbane team that sort of came from not the bottom there before, but outside the 8 to the grand final, and then obviously those couple of years at Penrith that he had. Invaluable for the Wires, I reckon. They'll be a good team, I reckon, this year, the Warriors. They're slowly getting into it, and with the amount of veterans they have playing some of the best footy that they've ever played, it's a good recipe. Yeah,
100%. Very, very good signing. And slotting in there at 13, rounding out your team for this week, the workhorse that is Cam McInnes.
Yeah, another bloke who would have made the best part of 50
tackles, I'm pretty sure, absolute machine.
Immense there for the Sharkies.
And I said they were going to bounce back.
Yeah, bounce back in that game as well from what was it, 18-0 down?
18-0 to the final score was...
Sharks 36, 22 or something?
I'm pretty sure it was 14. They needed to get that kick for my bet to come through. So I believe you were right, 14 points. Called it that they were going to bounce back. He was immense in that one. As always, a very tasty looking 13 there. There's still plenty more league to get into though, and we kick off
another Brisbane Thursday night.
There again, Brisbane on a Thursday night. Always seem to tee up these bangers of a game. The Storm up against the Broncos. Huge occasion there for your Thursday night. It's tomorrow. We're here on a Wednesday rather than a Tuesday. It's something tomorrow. We're a day away.
You've only had 1 day at work this week.
I've only had 1 day at work this week, and I was on release for 2 blocks of the day. So
effectively, 2 hours at work is it then?
Oh, there we go. But
4 hours.
Yeah, nothing too shabby.
A couple of hours of chilling.
Off to camp next week as well, mate. So we're in cruise control. But yeah, what a big game this time tomorrow. Look, 9:46. We'll be prepping yourselves up for a little bit of Thursday night action. Now the Storm, well rested, coming in off a bye, coming in off their free 2 points, whereas the Broncos coming in off a big win up against a at the time unbeaten Cowboys team in that Queensland derby.
Yeah, Melbourne will be stoked to have. Obviously Hughes back from his 1 match ban, and Cam Munster as well named in the team. So
different looking team straight away.
Yep. If he's going to be coming out and playing anywhere near what we know he's capable of, it's a worrying sign for the rest of the comp. But Brisbane will have to deal with it Thursday night. Obviously, still missing a couple of big troops themselves, Brisbane, but a big win up against top of the table, as you said, Cowboys.
Yep, they were at the top of the table.
Yeah, potentially just a little bit of a red herring, perhaps. Maybe not the right saying. False, like sort of fraudulent top of the table. You know, when you think they played the Dragons.
Just one of those weird situations. It's a weird season. Everyone's had a loss. No one is unbeaten after 4 rounds.
The only team yet to get a win is obviously Gold Coast.
We're seeing teams beat someone who's been beaten by this team. It's one of those you can make that full circle loop around every team now. I'm sure. Obviously, there you go. Apart from the Titans, but Titans maybe got beaten by the bye or something like that. Maybe, or they beat the bye. Who knows?
Yeah.
But we'll give it a couple more weeks, and you'll be able to tee up a little circle like that. I'm sure, but. Fraudulent, maybe, an underwhelming leader, but it's hard to pick after 3 rounds. But they did look good. Brisbane, like you said, they were missing a few troops, a few injuries.
Didn't stop Adam Reynolds running the show there, and
no, not at all.
Yeah, look,
and they're in their favoured time slot. It's not in Brisbane, which is a shock, but again, they're not off to Sydney, they're off to Melbourne. So, it's one of those games. You've got a fresh Storm team, Munster back into the team, Hughes back into the team, and then you've got this Brisbane team who are probably on quite a good high after a win like that.
Shapes up to be a great game, yeah.
Yeah, it should be a really good game. Even with Munster and Hughes coming back in, I'm probably still leaning towards Brisbane, just from what we saw from them last week. But it's a bit of a coin toss, this one, I think.
Yeah, I think Melbourne at home gives them a huge advantage over pretty much anyone. But yeah, Brisbane, one of those teams that could definitely go down and pull off a bit of a, what do they call it? McGann said it.
What's the word you're after?
What's the word I'm after? I think.
Like
a shock win.
An upset.
It'll come to me later.
I wouldn't have a fucking clue.
A little bit of an upset in terms of the
upset we're going to go for, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely not upset was what I was looking for, but maybe it'll come to me. But yeah, look, Brisbane definitely one of those teams that could go down there, and total 90 odd seems very generous for a Broncos team that seemed to find their best last week, but obviously still missing Haas, the likes of Munster and Hughes back into the side. The bookies are leaning towards Melbourne in this one, but we've taken them up on what they're offering in terms of the value on offer for Brisbane.
I had to go with the value. We've both gone nice and close. Broncos there, some 1 to 12. We both chucked a try scorer on there. I've gone Dean Mariner. You've gone Pappenhausen. Obviously, chucking in the Storm player to score there's beefed your bet up a little bit, sitting at 10.19, and I'm sitting there at 6.96. Obviously, both could come off. I've got a little bit of
symmetry there.
I got a little bit of symmetry. Yeah, I got a little bit of catching up. It's a palindromic bet. Now, palindromic. I don't know if that would be the correct word to do. I don't know if you can describe something as palindromic, but it is a palindrome. I got a bit of catching up to do. What did we say? I was about $3-4 behind you there, I think it was.
Yeah.
Look, I think it was. Unfortunately, both pulling off 2 wins.
Yeah. What's that? $4.
So I've got a little bit of work, a little bit of work to do, a little bit of money to catch up on. So not going to be able to pull that off here unless we don't see anything from Pap. That's your Thursday. Friday night footy. We're back with a full selection of games, a full week. No split games or days split up to accommodate your Monday night footy. The Doggies up against the Roosters. Now, historically, a huge matchup this one, yeah?
Yeah, Doggies, Roosters, obviously big rivals. I don't see this one living up to some of the classics of the past, but if the Doggies can bring what they brought up against the Titans, up against the Sharks for about 50, 60 minutes.
I thought they were going to maybe come away with it last week there, to be fair.
Yeah, up against the South last week, they were hanging in there. I think it was maybe a case of South not being at their potent best, but the Roosters weren't at their best.
Well, they didn't play how I expected them to play that up against Penrith in that loss.
To be fair, they were denied through what has turned out to be a pretty controversial call again with the obstruction. Lots of talk about that one. Obviously, Dylan Edwards getting bundled over by JWH in the referee's opinion, and that was the end of that one for Joey Manu whipping out the headstand try.
Yeah, a little bit of break dancing. I know that's what they were talking about there on Monday night. That they've got to get that rule sorted because there was another similar
it seems
situation
harsh to take a try off the Roosters.
It seems a bit harsh to take a try off a fella who's just on a headstand.
Exactly.
Put it that way. You go out there and you know that try that we saw from Xavier Coates in the last few weeks. He's just let go of the ball right before the try line. He's just dropped it and he's like that far off the ground. You give it to him. Benefit of the doubt. It's an amazing try, you know, that situation there, you pull out a headstand. Benefit of the doubt. That's what they should have whipped out. Really, yo, ref, you make the final decision. Shit, mate, well, it's a beauty of a try. It's a lovely finish. Benefit of the doubt.
Headstand.
Yeah, headstand. Chucking a bonus point.
8-point try.
I was going to say make a 5-pointer. You know, just the one. A little bit of rugby union, you know.
Maybe a little shout out to Joey Manu. Looking like he will end up in rugby union, but
he'll end up in rugby union if they take tries off him like that again. That's for sure. But they are going to have to be up for it this one, the Doggies, in this game.
Yeah, it's going to be. I reckon it'll be tougher than what they faced last week. But yeah, the Doggies seem. Obviously, it was early days.
They've looked all right.
Yeah,
they haven't looked as shit as I thought.
And it's obviously it's easy to compare them to the Titans at the moment, who are just absolutely in the dumps. But yeah, at times there last year, obviously had us two finish below them in the table, but certainly we're on the end of a couple of hidings last year, but doesn't seem to be the case this year. A few close losses for the Dogs.
Yeah, it's a slightly different looking team. It's obviously a new roster every year. The Doggies whipping out a few new players
like
from Penrith.
6 or 7 dudes that are like 14s in their team, I swear.
Yeah, you'd be close to it.
Just go through the freaking names they have, and they've got so many utility backs that could play in any position, but aren't really jack of all trades, but specialists at none.
Yeah,
is that what you'd say?
Yeah,
for a number of their backs, but looking like they are stringing something together there, but I still reckon they're lacking that half. Matty Burton doesn't really seem to be like a game organizer.
Nah, he
doesn't. Seems to be the strengths lie with his running game and the big foot bomb.
Running in the boot, 100%. Give him the ball and let him work his magic, but someone else there to boss the team around and tell everyone where to go. They're really gonna have to be up for it. I think it's you kind of have to go. You got to go towards the Roosters.
I think it's hard not to.
They probably bounce back after that loss to Penrith, I'd say, and they probably bounce back big. So I'm going for a 13 plus.
So am I. Yep,
13
plus. Joey Manu, I've got wrapped in there for my palindrome bet of the week. $4.64.
Is he getting that try in there? Is he?
Yeah. maybe time for Neds to open up a new category, headstand tries.
Headstand tries possibly could chuck that in
Could have
there.
got a bit more value involved if that was the case.
Up that a little bit more. But he'd be hot favourite. 100% he'd be hot favourite.
ATS, anytime, any type of try.
But if it was, first or, anytime headstand.
First headstand try scorer.
Maybe not first headstand try scorer, that's probably pushing the boat out a wee bit far, but anytime headstand try scorer, and he's probably sitting there maybe at like if he's paying, say...
If he did it last week,
if he's paying $2.60 to score a try anytime, he's possibly sitting there at maybe I want to say $3.55.
It's pretty low. I was going to say $12. You don't see too many headstand tries.
Yeah, but I'd say he's easily the high favourite
after last week.
After last week, you know what I mean. So I don't know if he'd be paying as much as you think. So for that reason, I've gone for that try scoring machine that is Dom Young. Get himself a double, $7.32. So we'll be hoping for one big one for the Roosters there, that first game on Friday, and that'll lead you into a bit of Friday night Dragons action for you. Doesn't come around too often, a Friday night game there.
I think we had the 1 Sunday and the 3 Saturdays so far, which it's been nice, but we'll punch out a 10 o'clocker on a Friday.
100% no work the next day.
No golf the next day.
No golf, no. So you can definitely sink your teeth into that. The Dragons taking on the Knights in Newcastle. Now, the Knights obviously coming back to Australia with a loss after coming over to our shores, taking on the Wars last week, and as we said before, your Dragons involved in an error-ridden match. Tommy Turbo stealing the show in that one there with 5 errors.
Yeah, don't think I've ever seen Tom play a game like that where, early on it was normal sort of involvement. Had a few errors and then didn't see the bloke for about 15
But he also
minutes.
saved an amazing try.
Yeah.
It was unreal. And then they said it. They were saying,
Well, the first try, that flick pass from him was incredible. He had 4 or 5 blokes on him and flicks it a centimetre.
But I think he already dropped the ball at that stage as well once. Then he had the try. Then he might have dropped it again. Then he made this tackle, and then it was 3. I swear it was 2 plays inside 3 minutes where he made a mistake. He had a bloody shocker, Tommy Turbo. Easily the worst I've seen him play.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And sort of, I guess, handed the game to the Dragons on that one, really.
Yeah, look, we were sitting pretty with a 20-8 or 20-6, I think it was. When on the cards going into those final 5 minutes before a little try from Manly spoiled my 13 plus there. And as you mentioned, Newcastle, I thought Ponga had a really good game, but the Warriors just had a little bit too much on the day for Newcastle with that sold out Easter Sunday crowd going pretty hard for the Warriors. It was a pretty nice day for it.
It was the old 6:05 kickoff. Obviously, a lot of people have an Easter Monday off. It was a packed out stadium. They're playing 2 home games in a row. You've just been down and treated the fans in the South Island to a game. You come back to your main stomping ground and take the 2 points. So the Knights might be a little bit disappointed. They might have thought they could have got a little bit more out of that one, but I'm sure they're probably that slightly bit more confident coming up against your Dragons. Although it's a Dragons team who have been a little bit hit and miss. It's when they're on, they're on. But there's also been phases there this season where they've not looked so flash.
Yeah, to be fair, look, if you take the 2 wins in isolation and Gold Coast kind of looks less impressive, that opening round victory as each week goes by, and we just discover the problems unfolding week by week at the Gold Coast there. But Manly obviously handing us the game a bit.
I'd say
it's difficult to really obviously as a Dragons fan you're stoked to see the wins, but
definitely handed.
Definitely handed
There's
that
no
one.
doubt about
So
it.
it's going to be a lot tougher going up to Newcastle. You'd like to think, from a Newcastle point of view at least. I'd certainly take it if they hand us. KP hands us 5.
KP drops the ball 5 times. There's no way you say, no, it's right, mate, have the ball back. You definitely take that with open arms. But you're right, it is going to be a tougher ask, I think, for the Dragons up against the Knights. Again, Ace is just there you go.
Ace is letting us know
how he's feeling there about the Dragons himself as well. He's thinking Knights 1 to 12. It's a tougher ask for the Dragons. They're going to have to be up for it. But I am backing your lads this week. With the news of this bloke not being involved with the club from next year, Zachy Lomax, I've chucked him into my bet as well. So Dragons 1 to 12, Lomax did himself a try, and it's my second palindrome bet of the week, $7.87.
$7.87, yep, nice palindrome bet there. I've gone for the usual Dragons 13 plus, $9 paying this week, pretty juicy. But yeah, as you mentioned, Zachy Lomax, he's asked for his release, and the Dragons have played ball. From next year onwards, he will no longer be a Dragons player.
I'd happily have him in there as that other centre to play alongside Justin Olam. I think that'd be awesome.
Who have you got running out there at the moment?
Tape, solid I've got from Brisbane Tigers.
Has Stafford Toa been dropped? Or?
I'd take Lomax.
Obviously you would, but...
Stafford's injured at the moment, I'm pretty sure.
I think there'd be plenty of teams that would take Lomax, but interesting to see where he ends up. Plenty of talk that Parramatta have been all over him, so I think he'd be...
Maybe only signing wherever he ends up.
They'd be the bookies' favourites, but yeah, wherever he ends up would be interesting to see how he goes. Obviously looking for that centre berth, not happy out on the wing, so...
Yep.
Yeah.
Come in and take the 3 jersey at the Tigers, mate.
See what happens there.
Happily have you. But that's your Friday. Yeah, you get yourself ready for a triple header, a 3-banger there for your Saturday afternoon into your evening, and it starts off the Bunnies up against the Warriors. Now both teams coming off wins, very similar looking scorelines. Obviously the Bunnies notching their first win of the season, whereas the Warriors already off the mark for the year. Again, that's another really tasty looking matchup. What a game to start your Super Saturday with. You've got a team possibly maybe starting to find a little bit of their form, and another team, like we said before, the Warriors, who run by this bunch of veterans who are playing some awesome footy. So I think this should be a really good matchup, this one.
Yeah, both teams really yet to sort of show their best, particularly over an 80 minutes performance. Definitely South Sydney, that's for sure. But they've got that monkey off the back. They've got that first 2 points in the column, the first win. So whether or not they can take this and kick on from it, you'd like to think they've got the players to do so. But the Warriors, they'll be a tough opposition. As you said, veterans running that side, coming up with a good one up against the Knights at home. If Souths turn up, they're a little bit off, as they have done pretty much every game this season. It's hard to see them.
No reason why the Wires can't get a win in this one.
Yeah, no reason why they can't. If Souths do turn up and they can string a few passes together, string a few moves together down that left-hand side, with Jackie White and Cody Walker, Latrell, they should have the firepower to beat pretty much anyone, but it's just whether they can finally click. I reckon that monkey off the back, the first win of the season, will will go a long way. But
spur them on a little bit more, I think.
I guess we'll have to see come Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I thought it would be this week that we'd see the Bunnies get their first win. The week following on from Easter, they've got less on their cards. They're able to fully focus on the league.
Yeah, shout out to the Bunnies getting the win in Easter, as we mentioned, a tough time for the Bunnies.
Yeah,
particularly of the Easter variety.
So yeah, no, good on them. So, like you said, yeah, it probably does spur them on a wee bit, and really, fuck the Warriors. To be fair, already, I mean, there's still a lot of noise there around them, but they've lost twice this year, and you're hearing less of the up-the-wires, and I bloody love it, I have to say. So, really, I'm hoping for a Bunnies win. I've also picked the Bunnies win this week. I do think that the Bunnies are going to be that little bit too strong. We've seen them maybe just start tick things over a little bit. You know, there's the cogs are in motion. They've got the monkey off the back. They've got the ducky off the table. They've got a win in the wins column, so I'm going Bunnies 1-12 into the man who got himself a try there, a couple of tries last week, Jackie Whiten, $7.23.
Yeah, good value, I like it. I've gone pretty similar. Souths 1-12, swapped out Jackie Whiten, subbed in Cody Walker as my anytime try scorer, and that's going to get me $9.11.
Unfortunately, not another successive consecutive palindrome bet. Quite an unfortunate number there, to be honest. Actually, of 9-11, but more money than me there. So
would have been stoked with a 9-19.
9-19 would have been bloody lovely. Unaware if we've got any more palindromes for you, but that is half of your games for you. Your second game of your Super Saturday is Manly up against Penrith. Now, obviously Manly on the other end of that shocking game there, up against your Dragons.
It wasn't just Tommy Turbo that was
wasn't just Tommy Turbo.
It was a pretty shocking performance all around from
I'm pretty sure there was one period of the game where there was a knock-on from Manly. A couple of tackles later in the Dragons set, Dragons knocked it on, turned over to Manly, and then like first tackle of that set, Manly dropped the ball. It was that bad. Up against Penrith, who got the win up against the Chocks. I'm sure Manly's probably thinking we've picked the right week to maybe have a shocker. They don't want to be doing it this week. Hopefully they got.
Could have been uglier than 20-12 if they.
Would have been uglier than 20-12 if they play like that up against Penrith, I'm sure. So you'd like to think Manly come back into this one with a little bit of that oomph that we're talking about, a little bit of fight. They won't want to be having a performance like that again, I'm sure. So they'll be really hoping that they can go out there and turn that around a wee bit.
Yeah, Penrith always a tough opposition, but yeah, I guess definitely from a Manly point of view, if they've got this stinker out of their system, it's a good time to have it. Bounce back factor potentially on the cards here as well. The boys will be stinging, and yeah, going up against obviously still the Nathan Cleary-less Panthers. Brad Schneider taking that halfback jersey again. There was a chance, but we saw that they barely miss a beat, really, Penrith, no matter who's out. Obviously, Cleary is like, don't really have to tell you how good he is, but to pick up the win up against the Chooks, they look pretty good as well.
I think Schneider sort of just
stepped up a bit. His go through the middle was pretty.
Luai had a great game, very good with the boot. I thought Schneider just slotted in pretty seamlessly. He had a really good game. Solid as always.
Dylan Edwards running his dick off as
always. Done over for 3 tries. So
helps.
It's going to be a tough ask for Manly, but yeah, probably a little bit of bounce back factor. And this one, I don't see Tommy Turbo having another game like that in his career. you'd say.
No.
Definitely not back-to-back, so I'd like to think Tommy's going to be on this game. He'll be up for a big one. It's a hard one to pick, this one here, I've found. I've gone for another one of me old favourites. The old Golden Pointer.
Golden Point, yeah.
Now it looked like we were on track for a bit of Golden Point there on Monday night. We never got to it. I don't see why not delay that Dolphins-Tigers kick-off by a few minutes after seeing a little bit of Golden Point action, $16.
Yeah, look, it's good value. Manly obviously going to have to show up with a lot better than they did to match it with Penrith exactly after 80 minutes. But at Brookvale Oval, Brooksvale potentially, are we renaming it? If he can steer them to a Golden Point victory over the Panthers. But I've just gone for one of my new favourites, the old 3 darts at the dartboard.
Yep.
Bang, bang, bang. I've landed on Trbojevic Tom, as I guess I reformatted his name a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to stick with that whenever he's involved. Taylor May and Dylan Edwards is the other two. So you chuck that in and it's spitting back out $21.91 at you. So a tick under 22 for 3 outside backs to score. I'm pretty happy with that.
Yep, nothing wrong with that whatsoever. And that'll tee you up for the game of the round. Your final game of your Saturday evening. It definitely looks on paper as probably the game of the round. You've got a team for the first time in their career, in their life as a team, sitting top of the table, up against a team who are, for the first time since 2020, sitting on the table with more wins than losses. Not really the stat you really want to be looking at, but to go from where you've been to where you are.
Did you have back-to-back wins last year at any stage?
Possibly when we got our first win. I'm not too sure, but either way, sitting there, first equal. We're sitting there first equal. I mean, come on. We won by 24 points there on the weekend. We're top of the table. It is the Finns up against the Tigs. Obviously, both teams taking wins there on the weekend. The Dolphins beating the hapless Titans there. Starting to look all right. Still, maybe got a little bit of work to do there, the Finns, but for now, yeah, you're being chased, and that's what we've always said. If you're being chased, that's the position you're in there.
Yeah, look, top of the table. It's definitely a nice place to be for the Dolphins. First time in their 1 year and 4 round history they've managed to do so. I'm sure they've been top of the table in Queensland Cup plenty of times over the years, but first time in the NRL, top of the table there. So kudos to Wayne Bennett and his lads. But yeah, should be an interesting game. You've got 2 teams in the top 4. Are you guys still top 4?
No, we're 6th at the moment on points difference.
Yes.
Yep.
So first versus 6th, you know. Normally looking at a couple of, maybe a Penrith Parramatta or a Penrith Manly or something, but it's Dolphins Tigers.
We'll take it Finns Tigers. I'm sure that'll probably be maybe part of Saturday night's ensemble there. Maybe the end of the night there we'll be chucking on a little bit of Finns Tigers. Maybe seeing a nice Tigers 42-4 win or something like that. Just to really get your celebrations going. But yeah, it's an interesting one, this one, because what we did see on the weekend was an awesome performance there from the Tigers, but it was with the main man himself, Lockie Galvin, obviously missing for 2 weeks.
Copped a 2-week ban, yeah.
Misses this game against top of the table Finns, and then misses the old TGIF derby the following week. So 2 huge games to not be a part of, but Bud Sullivan comes back into the lineup, and Lottie Fainu, one of the Fainu brothers there that we got from Manly, he's coming in he's taking the 14, so it'll be his debut there for the Tigs. So what sort of role we see him come in and play in, we'll have to wait and see. But I'm excited to see what he can do. We've seen what his brother's done so far. Bit of a wrecking ball.
Yeah, look, I think all the Whānau brothers have a reputation of being fucking talented. So, and I've heard, is it Lotte? Latu? I've heard he's the most exciting of all the brothers. I don't know if there's more than 3.
I can't remember.
That are footy players, but I think most of them, or those 3 obviously coming through the Manly system. Yeah, but lots of hype around, especially a couple of years ago I remember reading about it. So yeah, interesting to see what he can do on his NRL debut there. Slotting into a team, yeah, stoked with that 17-16 victory.
High confidence. They now know the words of the team song that little bit better.
New team song though. That's why.
New team song.
It was a bit.
But it's a weird feeling currently as a Tigers fan. I don't really know how you should be feeling really at a time like this. It's been a while since we've been in a situation like this. We're in the 8. We're first equal. And I've got every right to go into this one full of confidence. And what better way to go about it than sticking with what you know? It worked last week. We go for it again. Tigers 1-12. Interval at $7.51.
Yep, I like it. That's what I was going to go for. But then I saw a little bit more value on offer for Justin Olam instead of Jareen Buller there. Pass it into that Tigers 1-12, $8.91.
Yep.
So can't complain with that.
Can't complain with that at all. 3 games in a row for Justin Olam to score a try. I'm sure he will get over the line for you there. But that is your Saturday. And it leads us into Sunday where we kick off with another Queensland derby. The Cowboys up against the Titans now. Both teams coming off big losses, obviously. One team coming from first, one team sitting down there at the moment, as we said. No wins.
Dead last.
Ridden with injuries. It's not going well for the Titans at the moment. Not going well for Desi.
No, it's not going well for Desi. We saw him very fired up there. In the footage we got, was it half time or was it full time? Full time there, really fired up. So interesting to see if Gold Coast are able to respond to this spray. Dizzy has a sort of one of those characters. Seems to be a sort of chill bloke.
You wouldn't want to get him
weird, a little bit sort of.
You wouldn't want to get him angry though.
Yeah, definitely. Where I was going with that was seems to have something about him that you wouldn't want to be rubbing him up the wrong way, and it's hard to really defend the Gold Coast side at the moment. Obviously, a number of injuries to start the season, and with their big leader Tino out for the rest of the year, it's hard to see things turning around for them quickly. But potentially the spray's done the trick. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be tough for them up against the North Queensland side that put us and the Dolphins to the sword a little bit. So we know when the opposition is at a little bit of a lower level, blokes like Scotty Drinkwater come in and absolutely tear the show apart. So yeah, it's hard to really see past a big bounce back victory for North Queensland on this one.
Yeah, 100%.
The way things are going at Gold Coast, I mean, I probably wouldn't be tipping them against anyone at the moment, really.
Nah, not at all.
When you consider the fact that us and the Doggies smashed them, who else is there really?
Us.
The way you're playing at the moment, you're going to smash them as well, as long as you've got Lucky Galvin there.
It's a rough one for the old Titans, but they need to find a bit of form at some stage. They need to get that monkey off the back.
Another derby for them, I suppose. Can always
bring
good things out of them.
Spur them on a little bit, but I have to say I don't really see it going any other way than a big Cowboys win this one.
Yeah, me neither. It's just tough times up there in the Gold Coast. whereas North Queensland, apart from last week, they've been looking pretty good this year. So I've gone for 13 plus for the Cowboys. Chucked a couple of try scorers in there, and it's still giving me bugger all value really. Nene and Holmes, $5.73.
Nene?
I think that's how you say it.
It's not Nanai.
Definitely not. It's Nana is like the Australian way of saying it, I think.
I guess.
Jeremiah Nene.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a fuck that.
I guess you're probably right, to be fair. Where is he from?
I believe he's Samoan. Like
Name?
name wise.
Nane? There you go. Yep.
Oh yeah.
It'll be that one.
Alright, this is Daily Mail. I thought it was Daily Telegraph or something. There's the video.
Oh no, I think it told you right there though. Not down. Down. Oh no, I just saw his name there. Do they have that hyperlink where it said that Cowboys? No. It could. No, Messi returns to Inter Miami. I'll have a look. I'll have to have a look. Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah. My speaker's fucked. If you look it up on your phone.
I'm getting it up on YouTube. Fuck that. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Cowboys pronunciation.
But you've gone for a hell of a bet in this one. It took me by surprise when I scrolled down and saw it.
The old hat trick. You've got to get the old hat trick involved, don't you? Carl Felt, $19 to score himself a hat trick up against the hapless Titans squad. I don't see why not at all.
Has he broken the record already? Matty Bowen's record? Or did he just equal it earlier this season?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
I think he might have just equaled it up against us, potentially in that game. But the last game for the round, Canberra play host to the Parramatta Eels. Both teams coming off a loss. Speaking of sprays, Ricky gave his players a bit of a spray in the media, a little bit of a slight comment or two there, stating that he was not happy with the fact.
Here we go.
Daniela Sandu, Joe C. Baker Tiroha, Joe C. Baker Tiroha, Jermaine Tonoa Brown, Latia Mother Jacket, Rob Derby, Jeremiah
Nanai. Jeremiah Nanai. There we go.
Nene.
What did you say? I can't. You might have it. I can't remember, but either way, at least we've got that clarified now. We know. Check your pronunciation. It's an important thing. Where were we?
Canberra up against Parramatta. Ricky his lads a bit of a.
He got
a spray in the post-match interview. Not happy with the fact that they saw an 18-0 lead slip to a 36-22.
Yeah.
Loss in that one, particularly was it 22? It was like 22-18 late on as well, and then Sharky ran in 3 tries.
Yeah, it was
2-3 tries.
Bit of a capitulation there from Canberra, but you could possibly say the same about Parramatta as well. A little bit of a capitulation. There was stages there where it looked like the Eels should have scored 3 or 4 tries up on our try line, and they just couldn't seem to cross over the line, and conceding that field goal late on, Gutho unable to make that kick. Maybe not as much of a capitulation, but more of a shoot yourself in the foot scenario, that one.
Yeah, I remember what word I was looking for, by the way. Boil over.
A boil over?
Definitely a
not
boil
an upset.
over.
Okay, yep.
From the Tigers up against Parramatta there. In that one, not too many expecting the Tigers to put together back-to-back performances.
No, not at all.
Which is rare to see from the Tigers, but Parramatta, really struggling without Mitchell Moses to guide them around. Blaze Talangi looks like a hell of a player, but to step into the halves with Dylan Brown, I just think they're like, he almost looks like he is another Dylan Brown.
Far too similar.
Like, too similar to have those two blokes in the halves together. I think they need someone out there with just sort of steer the blokes around. Let Dylan Brown step up and have a little bit more magic with the likes of Mitch Moses missing, but like Mitch Moses, he's probably got probably up there with Cleary and Reynolds in terms of long kicking game, if not like arguably better in terms of like long kicking game. But it's tough to see them going well with Talangi and Brown. They're just too similar in the halves, but I think they're missing Moses for another, 7 weeks? Or
it's a hearty...
Longer than that?
Hearty period that he's out there for, so they're going to have to get used to playing without him, so they're going to have to figure out how to do that at some stage.
Obviously the Tigers were very resolute in defence, but you're right, it was like 6 or 7 sets down in your 20, and they didn't manage to offer too much threat down there, which was not really, I guess, what you'd associate with the Parramatta side, which I think if they did have Mitch Moses on the day, you'd probably back them to score another couple of tries in those sort of situations there, but it'll be a tough one for Parramatta moving forward. I think Canberra at home, they'll definitely be looking to bounce back. Ricky will have them fired up this week at training. No more 18-0 slips of the tongue, I suppose. Not really, but tough to pick this one, I reckon.
Yeah, 100% tough to pick.
Especially when both teams definitely didn't bring their best last week.
Yeah, it is. It's a tricky one this week. So I've just gone similar to what you did, but only 2 of them. 2 try scorers, chucked it in there. $4.48 for Sivo and Savage to cross the try line. The 2 S's, the 2 favourites to score the tries. The first 2 on the list there. Nice way just to quickly get your last bet in there.
Yeah, I suppose it's a little bit safe. I reckon it'll be a high-scoring affair. I reckon Parramatta will have a few trick shots saved up this week. It's your last palindrome bet for the week as well. We did have one more, which is good. We did have one more in stock for you, and it's just Dylan Brown to score a try into overs. 42.5 is the points total there. $7.27.
Fourth palindrome, 4 out of 8. That's the way to do it. It leaves the Sharkies with a bye. Obviously, as we just said, coming away with that win there up against Canberra. Now, I called it. I said that the Sharkies would bounce back after that loss up against the Tigs. We saw it happen. We saw right at the end of the game the conversion to make it that 13 plus. And I'm sure they'll be pretty happy now to get that win out of the way. Not the best starts to a game, obviously, and the week before that. They now get an extra week off, an extra week to rest and figure out maybe what went wrong in that 120 minutes there that they played over that game and a half.
Yeah, apart from obviously that bit of a stinker for them at Leichhardt and that opening half there, they had looked pretty good. The Sharkies, so they'll be stoked coming
An extended rest will do them well, I'm sure.
Feet up after Easter, tuck into a few chockies that they may have accumulated last week. Good times.
on the Shire, I suppose. But that'll round up the footy, the NRL coverage for the week. We'll have a little bit of a look at the Arsenal.
We'll delve into the round ball now. Not the most entertaining of games there up against
Certainly
City.
not if you're a neutral.
No, but we take a nil all. Possibly not either if you're a City fan either. I think City fans probably were a little bit more confident thinking that they'd get themselves a goal. Gabriel and Saliba kept Haaland quiet again as they did the previous game.
Yeah, awesome job from those two. I thought they were both awesome. Haaland, yeah, it's a buzzy one. He's definitely the best goal scorer in the world. There's no doubt about that. But when he has a bad game, he certainly does look fairly average. Obviously, a few comments coming out from the likes of Roy Keane and a few others labelling him a League Two footballer, which is
I saw Roy Keane
a little bit harsh.
said that apart from his goal scoring, that's what he as general players like. Yeah, a little bit harsh. When he's off, he's off. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think he's still pretty young.
Still very young, and you can't continue to score like that forever and ever and ever.
Unless you're Messi or Ronaldo, I suppose.
It is pretty harsh on the bloke, but 2 clean sheets.
We'll take it. If he's going to have a stinker, have it against Arsenal. No dramas. You're not going to get any complaints from me. But yeah, William Saliba, I believe he ended up taking home man of the match, which was well deserved. But Gabriel just as good in handling Haaland, maybe potentially getting in his head a bit. We saw them going back and forth throughout the 90 minutes. Yep. A little bit of a bickering back and forth, which Gabriel likes to get involved with. I think it fires him up, which is good to see as long as he can keep those emotions in check. But 2 clean sheets up against Man City this year.
Yeah, it's awesome.
No defeats against them or Liverpool in our 4 games. I believe it's the first time any Premier League team has managed to do so while Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola have been in charge. So
a
bit of a feat there. Obviously means nothing if we don't end up at the top at the end of it. But it's a good thing that we've managed to keep City where they are for now.
Yeah, 100%.
In relation to us, I think Liverpool are definitely the team that's more likely to drop points, just based on the fact that City have done it 3 years prior, and 5 of the last 6 or 6 of the last 7 or whatever it's fucking is. So pretty insane stuff. We had a couple of chances ourselves to maybe
we probably
sneak
should have
home with the 3 points there. You think when Trossard broke into the clear, Martinelli was free in the little square ball might have been interesting there. A couple of chances that Jesus had, he might have made a little bit better of those, but look, you got to be happy with the point, I think.
You take a point. I had a lot of the kids at
particularly
school.
going into the game. It's definitely one of those ones. As a Arsenal fan, over the years they've sort of definitely copped a few hidings in that fixture up at the Etihad.
Yeah, I had a few kids at school giving me stick for a nil draw, but we take it in a game like that. 100%. It's a clean sheet, and it's a clean sheet that we take into that midweek game that we have tomorrow up against Luton Town. Now, 2 teams at very differing stages in the season, still both with plenty to fight for. One battling it out for the title, and one battling it out for their survival now. You've got one team sitting there with everything still to play for. One team that really has got their last hopes still to play for to keep themselves up in the league. It was an awesome spectacle for a neutral the last time we played Luton, 4-3 I believe it was. Yeah,
4-3. Was it Havertz or was it Declan Rice? Was it? Bagged the winner in the final minute.
Wouldn't be able to tell you.
I think it was one of those two. But 4-3 definitely left it till late over there at Kenilworth Road. But hopefully this time in front of our home fans we can show what we've been showing for most of the season, show the gap in quality, but a massive first leg up against Bayern this time next week, and obviously another game against Brighton to sandwich in between, so a little bit of a juggling act in terms of making sure the players aren't overplayed, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, Saka needs a rest, there's no doubt
so.
about it. I think Saka was pretty lacklustre in that last game. He's definitely not 100% fit, so give him a rest this game. I think start someone like Reece or someone like that. Give Emmy a start. Yeah, possibly a few players need to be rested. You've got Brighton on the weekend, and then you've got Bayern, like you said. So we might see a slightly rotated squad for this one, as you may do often on a midweek game. And ideally, while we're at it, we see Liverpool drop points tomorrow, which I don't see happening. They play Sheffield United. And City play the day after against, I want to say maybe West Ham.
Okay.
I think that might be Friday morning, or is Liverpool Friday morning? Liverpool Friday morning against Sheffield, and then City play tomorrow against Villa. So come on, you villains! Hopefully we can see them take the dub. But yeah, as we said, we straight back into it. It's the old midweek weekend banger there, up against Brighton this weekend, who put in a pretty solid performance, only just losing to Liverpool there on the weekend.
Yeah, look, unlucky. We saw Danny Welbeck snag the lead early there. They're definitely a team that have come and spoiled a few parties at the Emirates over the last couple of years. Beaten us last year in the run home, around about this time of the season. So fingers crossed we'll be able to see them and Luton aside over the next week, I suppose, half a week, with that Luton game tomorrow. But ideally, if we can wake up on Sunday morning, 6 more points in the bag, I'll be a happy camper.
Yep.
That's for sure.
It'll be the way to.
9 games left. I think City will probably win at least 7.
Yeah.
I think Liverpool will win at least 6.
Yeah. So these are
So you're going to have to win at least 7 to match them and catch Liverpool.
These are the games. These are the games we need to be doing it in. So, like you said, yeah, hopefully 6 points come Sunday morning. Hopefully a little slip up along the way from Liverpool or City.
Certainly
and
take that.
It would seal it not seal it, but it would seal off a tasty looking weekend. That's for sure. And then we have a look at Bayern next week, but there's still plenty going on in the world of darts now. We've seen the German Darts Grand Prix and a Premier League night take place since we last spoke to you. Well done to Luke Littler taking his first Premier League night last week, beating the Asp in the final to take out night number 9, and also within about 4 legs completely fucking my bet because I backed Humphreys to go 4 in a row. I was thinking Humphreys would make it through again. And within the first 4 or 5 legs, I think Littler had got about 5 or 6 180. So that was me screwed right from the get-go. But yeah, well done to Luke for getting his first win. They then went off to Germany, as I said, the German Darts Grand Prix. I was 2 days late, or 2 days early for Humphreys there. He found his form again when it was needed, taking out the win in this one. A huge win in the final, beating MVG 8-1, picking up a couple of really good performances along the way as well. They are back in with some Players' Championships this weekend, or the next week. I believe it will start Monday and Tuesday, so Hopes will be involved again, so hopefully we get to see him get himself another couple of wins. A little bit of prize money on the board would be great. But the big guns, they do have another night of Premier League action this Friday morning, Thursday night their time. Not as extravagant in terms of the odds this week, but I've gone for the Asp to beat Rob Cross, Littler to beat MVG, Humphreys to beat Smith, and Price to beat Wright. Not just wins, obviously. King of the Jockeys. That is paying $201.60. So you chuck your tenner on that, $2,000. It's not bad as you're leading up to a little bit of school holiday action. I'd take that any day.
It would make some of those winter swims a lot warmer if you take that $2,000 and invest it in a little trip to Raro potentially.
Yeah, something like that along the way. That could be ideal. So we're crossing our fingers, but probably wraps us up for another week. As always, if you've made it this far, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to give us a like, a 5-star. Give us a subscription on your socials. Enjoy your week ahead. Enjoy whatever sport you may be getting involved with. If you're having a punt, do so responsibly, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. We'll see you then.
Ciao.
Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Whips that one away, and Kane Williamson and his team now World Test champions.